everyone, and welcome to the Western Illinois University School of Agriculture podcast, where I, Lori Jackson, interview our alumni and students of all ages and backgrounds. Today's guest is another alumni member, Joanne Beeler. Welcome, Joanne, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Lori. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to do the podcast today.
We are so excited that you're here to join us today. Joanne is another one of our advisory board members and stays very involved in the School of Ag from afar. So how does it feel to be back on campus?
I always like to come back on campus. It's neat to see how things have changed, how things are still the same. I love going back to the university farm. Last fall, we went out there for our advisory board meeting during the open house. Just seeing the changes that have taken place since I was here about 20 years ago has been kind of neat.
Yeah, so Joanne is here today for their second advisory board meeting of the school year. And so, Joanne, could you tell us a bit about why you chose to be on the advisory board?
Yeah, one of my coworkers was on the advisory board out here for several years. He was a former WIU advisory member, as well as obviously graduated from the university many years before I was here. And he just really talked about all the positive things the advisory board was trying to do for the department, for the university, and had asked me when he was getting ready to retire if I would be interested in joining. So I told him I definitely was, and put my name on the list, and I got chosen at some point there, and I'm happy to be here today.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you on the board. We're lucky to have such a great group of individuals to sit on the board and continuously support the School of Ag. So going back to your time at Western, could you tell us a bit about your experience and what you were involved in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I came to Western as a freshman, I was an ag major with an animal science function kind of background there. And I really chose to get into ag because that's where I grew up. I grew up on a farm and cattle raising and showing them. And I really wanted to stay in the industry. First thing of all, at WIU, I went to one of the sorority meetings with the Sigma Alpha, who's an ag sorority. That really brought me out of my shell. I met a lot of people, and I think a lot of the folks that I still stay in touch with today would tell you how quiet and reserved I was, and I am definitely not that anymore. It's really, really made me into the person I am today. It helped grow my leadership skills, not only in Sigma Alpha. I was a member of Ag Vocators going into my sophomore year, our Ag Council, Hoof and Horn, and Alpha Zeta. So being involved in all those things exposed me to a lot of different areas. I got to travel. I got to meet students, got to engage others to have that same experience that I was having at Western. And as a current student at the time, trying to recruit folks, you could really talk to what the positives were for the department.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like you were very involved. And I know you're working in recruiting now. Could you tell us a little bit about the career path you chose and what you do now?
Yes. So again, I was in Ag Vocators, and I've gotten into the human resources career path. It was kind of by accident. I started out of college working on a hog farm, eventually kind of moved away from that, and the company that I went and applied with kind of saw what my leadership background was with all the organizations I was involved in, plus just my overall ag background, and they were very interested in that and kind of helped develop my HR skills. Today, I am an HR supervisor at NAPI down in Quincy, so I still go to the high schools and try to recruit kids, which is kind of fun, and again, try to sell our organization to them. As a person that came from ag, I really like to hire kids with that background because I know they have a work ethic, they know how to get the job done, and you can really depend on them.
Right. It sounds like we took a similar career path. I think Vocators is what got me started in recruiting too, and interning in recruiting. I've always enjoyed it and working with students. So could you tell us about how Western prepared you for that career choice?
Yeah, I think really just having that background, knowing how to go out, talk to people, come down to their level, explain things that maybe seem everyday to me, but they've never experienced before. So you know how to, kind of relate to them a little bit better.
Yeah. And I know you have a very cool story to share with our audience today about meeting a special someone, so I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay. Well, again, I was in Sigma Alpha, and we did social events with AGR and AGS here on campus. And this night was actually with AGS at the old Ritz. We were upstairs doing mystery date game, and the person I pulled out is now my husband, Jason. So we were partners. We had to learn about each other, get to know each other a little bit, and then kind of from there, we started to become friends, and here we are today, and we'll be married 19 years this fall.
Wow, that is such a cool story. Who would have thought?
Yep.
Wow, maybe I need to participate in that. But Joanne, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you for sharing that story. I hope you enjoy being back on campus for today's meeting.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right. Thank you.